On the topic of compromised people in the public sphere, this goes far beyond politicians. We've mentioned quite a few times on this broadcast that there are a lot of inauthentic, paid influencers and media personalities that are in fact not there to give us the truth, but rather have an alternative agenda. By far, some of the most influential aspects of media in society today would be the alternative media accounts all over platforms like X, Instagram, TikTok, and the likes. And what we've seen in countless instances is some super pro-American account with patriot and ultra MAGA tagged in their name and American flags and bald eagles everywhere. And it's really some dude based in a basement in Pakistan or wherever. We see this in all aspects of the alternative media space on both sides of the aisle, cheerleading for their side. And eventually these accounts are often found out. People realize something is inorganic about them or their growth, and they stop paying too much attention to them. What they do, usually because of financial incentivization, is rebrand their American flags and bald eagle patriot accounts and come back as someone else, essentially to do the same job, which is influence the masses. Now, what is more sinister is the well-known influencers, those who are in public, attend events, produce content, gain the trust of their audiences who believe this person is there with their independent mind, deciding all on their own what they are going to say, who they will support, and who and what they believe people should steer their own support to. We see this happen all the time with topics that go against the essential American ethos, whether it be on Epstein, H-1B visas, or any other countless topics which directly affect the American people. We're told by these accounts, don't worry about that. Don't listen to these panicans. We're winning. Your wallet is actually more full even though it looks empty. Trust the plan and buy me a coffee. But how does this happen? Do these people always start off compromised, or do some of them succumb to a pressure campaign from intelligence agencies? Some of these influencers, albeit disingenuous in their approach and messaging, may just be promoting these talking points to appease their viewers and get those views and impressions. Today, we are not talking about those people. Lauren Southern was an influential person in this space a few years back, where there was a larger cohort of influencers hailing from Canada discussing things such as social issues, culture, politics, and so on. After a few years of being a very successful and influential person in the public sphere, performing world tours, being on stage, having open forum discussions, Lauren Southern essentially disappeared directly off the map, stating at the time in a roundabout way that she wanted to focus more on the quiet life with her family. She's recently resurfaced with a book exposing much of the inside influence, directing narratives and underlying messaging amongst so-called influencers and movements worldwide. This week, she dropped quite a bombshell in an X post, which included details of a sustained pressure campaign and recordings of intelligence agents reportedly attempting to coerce her into becoming an asset for them. Here is her post. Intelligence agents showed up at my door late last year. I told them to leave. They proceeded to call me from anonymous numbers repeatedly, contacted my gym, told me they wouldn't go away unless I built a relationship with them as an asset. Your audience will never know, they told her. Returned to speak with me multiple times, claiming they were giving me last chances before they threw me to the wolves. They told me that the courts wouldn't care if I was actually guilty or not, that essentially someone had to take the fall and I could ensure it wasn't me. It was repeatedly implied to me that, you're smart, you know. It's not what's true that matters, it's the perception. I was made to believe there was a potential arrest coming. Made to believe I could never travel to the US again without being arrested by the FBI. Made to believe I might not be around to see my child grow up. None of these things were true. I can enter the US without issue. I was never arrested. I did nothing wrong. I was psychologically manipulated for months in an attempt to turn me into a government asset. We have one-party consent in Canada, and I believe it is in the public interest for people to understand how this works, as I know I'm not the only one. I have nothing against the agent. He was just given instructions and a job. But I have no doubt if his job were to destroy my life and try to jail me based on perception and not truth, he would do it. I'm just doing my job as well by publishing this. These are just a few excerpts cut from hours of conversations to give people an idea of our conversations. We're going to play you some of those recordings.
Before you start, I just want to ask you please just turn off the phone, please.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really trying here to help you and navigate you out of this. Because if you just sit here and don't do anything, I know that's the easiest thing for your lawyer to say, but your lawyer's not going to be the one sitting in the detentions. Like that happened to you a bunch of times. I know you're actually you put up a very amazing front that things don't just disturb you, and it's quite actually incredible. Like when we came to your door, maybe you had 10 seconds of nervousness. You settled yourself down and you were calm and quiet and nice. It's actually, if in another life, you would have made a great intelligence officer. I know it comes out. It comes out. It does stress you out, and it should, because your main, one of your primary jobs is you're also a mother, and besides your other job. As a mother, you want to be there. You want to protect your kid. You want to be there, see him grow up. You also want to be there to be able to provide for them, because you're doing like a lot of multi roles. I don't want to see a situation where that gets interfered for whatever reason.
Well, then don't let that happen.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
So this is a threat.
This is absolutely not a threat. This is like our second time coming.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen often. And once that legal ball gets rolling, when warrants or charges are issued, there's nothing that can be done after that. And that's fact. I know you're thinking, I can see you thinking when you're writing your notes and trying to get a hold of your lawyer, because I know it was very aggressive to show up at your door, but I think we can help you navigate through it. And again, in my opinion, just doing nothing is not going to get you in a better spot. It's going to be putting you at a significant disadvantage. Nothing might happen, okay? Like nothing, if they're like, oh, we don't have a significant case against Southern, then nothing. But if they go, these guys are all saying negative things. Again, when you're in the courtroom, it's the perception. It's not what the truth is.
Assuming this recording is authentic, and regardless of whether it is or it isn't, this is a known tactic. Yes, this man had a job to do, but listen to the slithery snake tactics utilized here. I know you're smart. You're a mother. You want to see your son grow up, right? I don't want to see anything happen to you. We're not threatening you. We're just telling you that inside that courtroom, it's perception that matters, not the truth. Now, no doubt some influencers and media personalities are born out of the intelligence agencies, and we often say Project Mockingbird didn't end with the MSM. In fact, they knew well ahead of time that the MSM would lose credibility and started rolling out influencers from their production factories long before that. They moved to social media, and let's be honest, it's cheaper with far wider reach. But how many influential people are subjected to this after the fact? They are well-meaning, they enter this space with the right intentions, gain the trust of the people, do good things for the nation and their communities, and then they get this knock on the door. How many of them are able to resist that kind of pressure, and how many of them do not require any pressure at all, just some financial incentive or even just access? How many prominent people today are part of this type of network? It's almost impossible to know. They'll certainly never tell anyone. In some cases, it is very obvious when you see them parroting the same talking points. Many times you'll see the messaging is very similar, and in some cases, word for word identical to other prominent people. Now, we're not going to tell you who these people are because we just don't know. But what we can tell you is that it does go on. It is widespread, and you should always have your radar up and use discernment, and frankly, don't blindly trust anything anyone says. Verify information for yourselves. Whenever you see blind cheerleading, no constructive criticism of the current administration, whoever's in power, or someone claiming a prominent person or organization can do no wrong, that's generally a good indicator. We can be pro a certain thing, yet call something into question. It's called accountability. And that is the key word in all of this. If a person can't hold someone or a specific entity, organization, or government to account, something is off. And if you see people not doing this, our advice, take it or leave it, is that you should question that. Whenever you're told not to ask questions or use your own critical thinking, that is the red flag. Always ask further questions. Questions require answers. Answers provide closure and understanding. It is our human nature to explore what can and can't be trusted, and anyone who isn't encouraging us to do that exploration should be questioned themselves.